and welcome back to Blocks Live TV. You're watching You on the Block. I'm Leah Heilpen. Now today we are joined with our usual guest, Jean-Michel Azzopardi, because he has some very interesting news to share with us today. Jean, great to have you. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Good, absolute pleasure having you back. Now, Kralanx has recently launched, or is about to launch, Project HACKSTOP. So very exciting. Firstly, thank you for coming on our program to tell us all about it. So I want to start by asking you, what exactly is Project HACKSTOP?
So the idea of HACKSTOP is to create a security standard that is easily identifiable by the average person. So that's mostly it. So traditionally in the security space, everything is sort of overly complex and very shrouded in mystery. So we'd like to kind of try and find a way that end users can develop trust in exchanges by noticing a certain standard of security.
Okay, so I want to understand though, how does it actually protect exchanges, and also why is it different from something that you usually do?
So it's a two-part kind of project. So from the exchange side, what we do is we monitor the exchange's environment using a number of different tools. So we use a packet analysis tool, we use user behavior analytics, an endpoint detection and response tool, as well as a SIEM. And we collate that information using AI in real time. We generate alerts. Those alerts are then vetted by a 1,000-man SOC, a security operations center, and if they deem basically that the exchange is being hacked in real time, then they push a rule via API to their firewall, IDS, proxy, WAF, Active Directory, or whatever.
And you mentioned firewalls. You mentioned firewalls. I want to understand how that actually comes into it, what part the firewalls have to play, because that's always a word that's thrown around when it comes to online cybersecurity. So take us through this. Okay,
so a firewall is a very basic tool. It's used for protection, right? And it works very, very simply. It says allow or block traffic from this port to this port via this protocol or this protocol, and that's basically all a firewall does. So it's kind of like I would say like a dumb security guard. That's a good way to explain a firewall. So what we do is, once we see that a hack is taking place, we'll tell the firewall, hey, listen, don't let anyone through this tunnel, so to speak.
So then how exactly does Project HACKSTOP protect its users at its simplest form? Okay,
so I just explained the exchanges side. So from the user side, I mean, essentially, when an exchange gets hacked, it's just as bad if an individual user's wallet gets hacked. So currently, there's nothing out there that addresses this, rather than basic standards like having a specific password, for example, to access an app or some kind of verification. So what we do from a user's perspective is we encrypt the user's app, and we place it in a container, essentially. That container encrypts the app using a 256-bit encryption, and that container has a service which is consistently running on the phone, checking for malware, basically. And if malware is undetected on the user's phone, then access to the app is limited.
So does AI come into play here?
It comes into play on the exchanges side. Okay. So it essentially does 90% of the heavy work on the exchanges side, for the simple reason that it's humanly impossible for an individual to be able to compute all of that data generated by those four tools for detection in real time, just because it's a ridiculous amount of data. So we use kind of AI to make sense of all of that scattered data and create alert models.
This sounds very, very secure, but we're always saying, well, actually, you know, no hack is 100%, no security is 100% guaranteed to prevent against a hack. But how effective actually is this going to be?
I mean, it's far from a magic bullet. Like you very well said, there's no kind of single solution out there to protect against a hack. But from a security perspective, it's quite an advanced service offering. So when you're defended 24/7 by 1,000 cyber warriors, it's something that not many companies would take up on their own, rather. So having something like that in place would definitely give you an advantage from a security perspective, for the simple reason that at the moment companies invest a lot of money in protection and prevention, but they don't really invest much in detection and response. So if you look at the life cycle of a hack, if you look at the end-to-end kill chain, as long as you're able to detect a hack in the early stages, in every stage except the last stage, basically, then you're able to effectively mitigate the effect of a hack, right? Protection, on the other hand, will only come into play when it's too late.
So you say it's not quite the magic bullet, but it's definitely a step behind that.
It's a good step in the right direction, and the idea is I wanted to make it a step that that the average user can understand, right? Because you see, as an individual, or rather as an end customer, you see all these acronyms. You see exchanges stating that yes, they have really high security, etc., and then they just get hacked over and over and over again. So we wanted to kind of create something easily recognizable that holds a good amount of weight in the security world. So it will be appealing to both professionals as well as end users.
Jean-Michel, thank you so much for coming in and explaining all of this with us today. And also, I want to wish you the best of luck with the official launch date. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Absolute pleasure. Now, that is all from us here at Blocks Live TV today. You can get in touch with us on social media. It's at Blocks Live TV. You can give us your thoughts on today's discussion and, of course, on some of the hottest trending topics in the space right now. But for now, we'll see you tomorrow.